Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to look at an incredible engine battle between Stockfish and Komodo, two of the strongest chess engines ever created. While engine games can sometimes seem mysterious, this one contains a brilliant tactical idea and a masterclass in converting a small advantage into a full point. Let's dive in. This is the analysis created by chess.com, which shows accuracy of Stockfish 97.5% and Komodo 92%. Brilliant moves spotted by Stockfish were 1, great moves 2, book moves 11, and best moves 53. Whereas only 45 best moves by Komodo, 10 book moves with 1 mistake. Now let's start the game, which starts with classical ruler base.
This is the most popular starting move in chess. Starting strong with a fundamental move. This develops the knight and attacks a pawn. After the light-squared bishop is moved, white can castle, protecting the pawn and controlling the center. The beginning of the Ruy Lopez. The bishop adds pressure against the knight that defends the center pawn. This forces the bishop to decide exchange or retreat. White safely retreats the bishop while keeping pressure on the knight. Black attacks the undefended white pawn and develops the knight at the same time. Castling gets the king out of the center and prepares to develop the kingside rook. This develops the dark-squared bishop and prepares to castle. White centralizes the rook and protects the pawn. This gains space on the queenside and forces the bishop to retreat. This is forced, but the bishop is well placed because it attacks a vulnerable pawn. Castling gets the king out of the center and activates the rook. White prepares a central pawn push and opens a retreat square for the light-squared bishop. d6 supports the e5 pawn and allows the light-squared bishop to develop. This prevents black from developing the light-squared bishop to pin the white knight. This attacks the bishop and allows black to push another pawn to fight for the center. White retreats the bishop and supports their center pawn. Black takes space on the queenside and controls the center. White takes space in the center, attacks two black pawns, and allows the dark-squared bishop to develop. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. This is an equal trade. The best option was to recapture a piece. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. A strong choice, developing the knight and increasing influence in the center. The bishop finds a new active square. White develops further. One of the best moves. This is the strongest option. Right on target. Right on target. Right on target. White's knight has moved to a square with greater activity and control. Moving the bishop gives black more flexibility in the middle game. A strong choice. This creates space for the king to move in case it is attacked, developing the bishop and increasing influence in the center. The best option was to develop further. This allows the opponent to counterattack an opposing queen. The better move was to counterattack an opposing queen. The best option was to move a bishop to safety. This allows the opponent to sacrifice a rook for a nice tactic. Capturing while sacrificing the rook was the right idea.
Now, you might be wondering why this sacrifice was the brilliant move. The answer to this is stability in the future. With this move, white breaks the pawn chain if sacrificed, which allows future development for white, meaning it will help in future for white to develop a tactical move. Now let's continue.
That was a free rook. This is not the right idea. This blocks an attack on a queen. This moves the bishop to safety. This creates a strong formation that can lead to threats. With the queen now developed as well, white has all pieces ready for action. This is the strongest option. Very strong play. The knight finds a new active square. That was a free pawn. This connects the rooks, which helps them work together. A solid choice. This mobilizes the knight, allowing it to control more of the board. This stops the opponent from being able to force doubling of castle pawns. This is a fair move. This kicks a knight. The clearly correct move for a threatened knight. Only one good move here, and you spotted it. Right on target. This allows the knight to control more squares. This connects the rooks, which helps them work together. A strong choice. Doubling the rooks is now a real possibility for black. This moves the bishop to a more active square, making it gain scope. The rooks can see each other now, allowing them to provide mutual defense. One of the best moves. This move gets the rooks ready to fight together on one file. The bishop finds a new active square. This moves the bishop to a better location, allowing... After all captures, this is an equal trade. A clear recapture. By stacking pieces, white improves coordination. That's fine. This is the strongest option. Very strong play. White's bishop has moved to a square with greater activity and control. This defends the attacked pawn. This creates a strong formation that can lead to threats. This protects an underdefended pawn that is under attack. Right on target. This move keeps the knight passive and threatens to push it back. This mobilizes the knight, allowing it to control more of the board. This connects the rooks, which helps them work together. A solid choice. This defends the attacked pawn. A strong choice. One of the best moves. This is the strongest option. Right on target. White's pieces move to a square with greater activity and control. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. A strong choice. This is the strongest option. Right on target. The piece finds a new active square. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. Very strong play. That was a free pawn. A solid choice. This mobilizes the knight, allowing it to control more of the board. One of the best moves. Very strong play. A strong choice. The bishop finds a new active square. This is the strongest option. This moves the bishop to a better location, allowing a solid choice. This passed pawn is a strong asset for white. One of the best moves. This passed pawn is a strong asset for white. Right on target. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. The threat on the pawn becomes more serious with this move. A strong choice. Very strong play. A strong move, occupying an outpost square and keeping the initiative. This move puts the queen on a safer square. This attacks black's pawn chain. This is an equal trade. A clear recapture. This is the strongest option. This passed pawn is a strong asset for white. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. Right on target. A solid choice. With this move, white fights back against central space. This captures a pawn and eliminates a threat. This captures a free knight. A clear recapture. The pawn is now passed because it can no longer be challenged by pawns as it tries to promote. The threat on the pawn becomes more serious with this move. A straightforward recapture. A strong choice. This passed pawn is a strong asset for white. This is the strongest option. One of the best moves. This blockade stops the pawn from advancing any further. Very strong play. The rooks can see each other now, allowing them to provide mutual defense. A solid choice. One of the best moves. Very strong play. A solid choice. This allows the knight to control more squares. Black's piece has moved to a square with greater activity and control. This move steps the queen out of danger and keeps material balance. The rooks can see each other now, allowing them to provide mutual defense. Kicking off a pawn storm. The threat on the rook becomes more serious with this move. A straightforward recapture. A clear recapture. Right on target. Recaptures. Great find. This was the only move that works. Recaptures from a previous move. A strong choice. This is the strongest option. One of the best moves. Very strong play. A solid choice. One of the best moves. Very strong play. This moves the bishop to a better location, allowing it to control more squares. A solid choice. One of the best moves. This steps away from the checking knight. This loses a knight, but the position is still winning. This misses a chance to win a knight, but the position would have been losing anyway. Very strong play. Right on target. A strong choice. A solid choice. This is the strongest option. This defends the attacked pawn. One of the best moves. Very strong play. That was a free pawn. A solid choice. That was a free pawn. One of the best moves. By stepping off the square, the king clears a path for the pawn to advance. This is a fair move. Pushing a passed pawn. Right on target. This continues down the road to checkmate. Very strong play. This continues down the road to checkmate. A strong choice. This continues the checkmate threat. This is the strongest option. This continues down the road to checkmate. Right on target. This continues the checkmate threat. This steps away from the checking queen. This continues down the road to checkmate. A forced move, no other option on the board. This continues down the road to checkmate. A strong choice. And the game is over.
I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, share, and subscribe for more. Thank you.